Hello, my name is Val and I run a little shop called TimberWillow.co.uk. I make all sorts of things, but usually it's illustration based. However, I started doing things that kind of came with the times. Nose wires and face mask strap sets, as well as a 5-inch version that is designed to go above and below a face mask. So these three things are things that came out of pure necessity for myself, where I was trying to find different ways of making face masks for my family. And this is before face masks became more of a mandatory. So my very first pieces, this is actually my very first attempt, which is not built very well at all. My second attempt, which got a bit closer, however, the elastic, I could never find a happy medium between too tight or too loose, so it was always one or the other, and it was never comfortable. It gave me headaches. So these ended up being a no. I tried ribbon, I've tried all sorts of different straps, and having to sit there and tie behind your head, I couldn't be doing with it. So I decided then to build straps for myself, and then these face mask straps are sewn in between the layers as the last step of creating a face mask. So there's no right or wrong way at this point to sew a face mask. I personally feel like it is the quality of the materials that you're using. So for example, I'll show you this one. I print fabric. That's one of the things that I can do. I've never been asked to do it, so that's why you've not seen it on my Etsy. But I wanted to make a fun mask to go with one of my outfits. So this was based off of a I think it's one of the tiger sharks, the Mustang, I think it was. So this has 3 layers. I will put in the description down below what was the pattern that I used. Out of every pattern that I attempted, this is my personal favorite, and this is the one that I solely make now for myself and my family. So this required, for me personally, a 3-layer mask. So there's 3 layers of fabric. The exterior mask is made of exterior of the mask is made of a t-shirt type fabric, as well as the back. But if you're making a mask, please have an incredibly tightly woven fabric that if you were to blow through it, you physically cannot blow a candle out, or you won't, or even better, you don't see any movement wearing a face mask and you blow on that candle. So that was a big thing for me, and I came across this very, very tightly woven fabric. So I am confident that this fabric will do exactly what I need it to. So again, 3 layers. I'll also put down in the description how these masks are built, because it's a person in the USA is actually how I found this, through YouTube, and it was brilliant. So for the nose piece, we'll start with that. I'll go with this one. You can see that on the interior of this, there is a box here. And that box is where that will sit. I put it down about 1 inch from the top to allow for my seam allowances. And that is in between the tightly woven layer and the back layer, so I don't sew through the front. So when this is turned inside out, I put this in between. I would then sew them, and when I turned it right side out again, or right side, you see the correct side again. For the finished mask, it would look like that. So it's comfortable, it bends, you can see it's holding its shape as I do things. So having these, because they are padded, was so much more of a help to me, whereas this one it's very crude looking. There's a piece of green felt in here, and you can see, and this was not aluminium or aluminum, depending where you're from. It was just wire that I shoved together, and that actually, one of my earlier masks, started to cut into my nose. So even though it is padded, you can still see that there is a lump here, and it is very hard. So depending on what kind of nose you have, that can actually cause great irritation. So I made padded ones. This took me a long time to figure out. I went through everything that I had on hand, and I finally found a way where I can safely house my aluminium wires, but have it be padded so it will hold its form, and I can do this over and over and over again. They wash well, and I love them. They're great. So then the last step of making a mask is where my straps come in. So on this mask, let me undo this really quick. You can see I've sandwiched it in between all my fabrics. So how I did that was, when you finish making your mask and it is turned so that you can see the front and the back, I like taking the sides and folding them in and ironing them. So once I've done this, I will then iron along this line so it gives it a cleaner edge. And then I will take both of my straps. I like them looking going the same way, so it looks a bit nicer. So both straps in hand, I have one side to the left, one side to the right, and I'm going to take one of these sides, go top and bottom, slide each one of these in, not too far, but I like having my straps come down along the top and actually follow the curve of the bottom. And then on my sewing machine, sew this line here so that it keeps everything shut. And then if you want extra rigidity, one more seam across the top, and then that will look like this. Okay. Then on the opposite side, again, it's probably easier to iron them at the same time, but when that is like that, ready to go, I will take the two opposite sides, make sure you have your top and your bottom, slide them in, and then sew. So again, once at the very least, obviously, twice for extra rigidity, more times if you are feeling funky. So that is how I do my straps installations. So these are amazing. I find that I'm in situations sometimes where I don't want to handle my mask. So if I've been out and about, this is currently clean. I will let this dangle down around my neck, and then I can use my straps to come up and over the nose and then grab and pull them to where I need them to be. So I can do this without physically touching that portion of the mask to limit contact with it if I've been out and about. Other things that are good with this is obviously you can hang dry them. For how I've done my personal face masks, I have machine washed them, I hand wash them, I hang dry them, which is good with these, as well as I've put these inside of my tumble dryer. So all of this has held up within my tumble dryer, but personally, I would rather not do that, and I would rather say, you know, if you're going to use anything, please just hang dry, because I tumble dry on a very, very low heat. I don't want to end up melting anything, and because there are plastic pieces, I want to make sure, you know, not melting anything. So you can try, but depending on your appliance, it might be different. So overall, this has been a fantastic mask design to work with. I highly recommend it. Again, down in the description below, I will post a link to the person that I found this mask design from, as well as to the link where the file's located, where you can get your own patterns. Each pattern is, I think she calls it Jessie's mask. Each pattern is sized to certain people's faces. So all you have to do is measure from the top of your nose to just before the ear, and then from the same point on your nose, so say if you wear glasses, where your glasses would sit, down to just under your chin. And both of those measurements will then tell you what face mask pattern to use. Again, highly recommend it. So overall, I hope that helps. If you have any extra questions, please feel free to message me. I'm at timberwillow.co.uk on Etsy, and my email is also val@timberwillow.co.uk. So, yep, I hope that this is helpful. And if you would like to see any of my other products that I do, feel free to come to my little shop online. Much appreciated, and I hope you guys take care and please stay safe. Bye!